Every December, for roughly the past 10 years, WWE awards select members of the roster with Slammies, or year-end awards as they're called now. One of the biggest reoccurring trophies is the Breakout Star of the Year award. As the title suggests, this is meant to highlight an up-and-coming wrestler and implies that they're on their way to bigger and better things. So then, what happened to those Breakout Stars of the Year? Let's find out.
The Moscow Mauler!
2008, Vladimir Kozlov. Debuting in April of 2008, the Moscow Mauler had a decent first year in WWE. As a member of the SmackDown roster, Kozlov competed against stars like Edge, Jeff Hardy, and Triple H, and even wrestled in a WWE Championship match. After being awarded Breakout Star of the Year, Vladimir Kozlov would continue to compete against main event stars until he was drafted to ECW. He formed a faction with William Regal and Ezekiel Jackson that seemed promising, but ultimately didn't go anywhere. Once ECW shut down in 2010, Kozlov jumped over to Raw, where he went from being a serious competitor to a silly comedic character. Ironically, this sort of paid off, as Vladimir teamed up with Santino Marella and they won the Tag Team Championship in December of 2010. The title reign only lasted a couple of months, and shortly after that, the Moscow Mauler became a pro on NXT Season 5, where he mentored a pre-ascension Conor O'Brien. In August of 2011, Vladimir Kozlov was released from his contract, which put an end to his WWE career. After leaving, Kozlov would wrestle for a bit in Japan, but retired in 2012 to focus on acting. Since then, the former WWE star has continued to work in the movie industry and has been quite successful, doing stunt work in films such as Fast and the Furious and John Wick. Additionally, in 2014, Vladimir Kozlov started his own production company called Quasar Entertainment, where he serves as vice president. 2009, Sheamus. The night before he was given the Breakout Star of the Year award, the Celtic Warrior defeated John Cena to win the WWE Championship. This made Sheamus an easy pick for Breakout Star, and his career only got bigger. The Irishman would continue to feud with main event stars such as Triple H and Randy Orton, and won plenty of gold along the way. Sheamus has gone on to become a 4-time world champion, a 2-time United States champion, and a 5-time tag team champion. On top of that, in 2010, Sheamus won the King of the Ring, and 2 years later, he won the 2012 Royal Rumble. All this and other accomplishments have turned Sheamus into one of the company's top stars. Recently, after suffering a concussion in 2019, the Celtic Warrior returned in January of 2012 as a member of the SmackDown roster, where he still is today.
Believe in the Shield!
2013, The Shield. After a brief hiatus, the Breakout Star of the Year was brought back, and this time was awarded to 3 separate men. The Shield had already been around for a full year when they won the award, and had become incredibly popular. After defeating Evolution at Payback 2014, the Shield split when Rollins turned on Ambrose and Reigns. With Triple H and the Authority behind him, Seth Rollins would go on to win the Money in the Bank contract and cashed in during the main event of WrestleMania 31, winning the WWE Championship for the first time in his career. As of right now, Rollins is a 4-time world champion, as well as a 2-time Intercontinental champion, a 6-time Raw Tag Team champion, and a United States champion. Additionally, in 2019, Seth won the Men's Royal Rumble match and went on to defeat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 35. Later on, Seth Rollins would adopt his Monday Night Messiah persona, which he is still using to this day. This has all led to Seth Rollins becoming one of the biggest stars in WWE and arguably the face of the company. Outside of the ring, Rollins became engaged to fellow WWE star Becky Lynch in August of 2019, and in May of 2020, the couple announced that they are expecting their first child. After the Shield broke up, Roman Reigns' career picked up almost instantly. In 2015, the Big Dog won the Royal Rumble and main evented WrestleMania 31, despite disapproval from fans. Later that same year, Reigns won his first of several world championships at Survivor Series. Despite WWE's best efforts to make Reigns a fan favorite, audiences have been split over the Roman Empire. Even with vocal negativity, WWE has continued to push Reigns and turn him into the face of the company. He's regularly placed to the top of the card and has won a number of championships in his roughly 8-year career on the main roster. After being absent for a majority of 2020, Roman Reigns returned at SummerSlam and soon after aligned himself with Paul Heyman. Then, only a week after returning, Roman Reigns defeated both Braun Strowman and The Fiend to win the Universal Championship, which he currently still holds. In addition to being named the Breakout Star of the Year in 2013, Dean Ambrose won the award again in 2014. Ironically, the Lunatic Fringe had the hardest time in WWE after the Shield broke up. He lost a fair number of matches on pay-per-view and wouldn't win a championship until TLC 2015, where he became Intercontinental Champion. Things improved in 2016 when Dean won the Money in the Bank contract and cashed it in later that night to win his first and only WWE World Championship. With that said, Dean would continue to be a solid mid-carder, winning both the IC title and Tag Team Championship on multiple occasions. While he may not have been the biggest breakout star, Ambrose did end up breaking away from the company. In April of 2019, the Lunatic Fringe left WWE, citing mental and emotional exhaustion as the reason for his departure. Only about a month after his last WWE match, Ambrose debuted in AEW at the Double or Nothing pay-per-view. Since then, he's been competing as Jon Moxley, and in February 2020, he won the AEW World Championship, a title he still holds to this day.
The man that gravity forgot.
2015, Neville. The man that gravity forgot had a successful career in NXT, so it's exciting to see him arrive on the main roster in 2015. While he didn't have a phenomenal debut year, Neville being named Breakout Star was surely a sign that his career was about to pick up. Unfortunately, an ankle injury in March of 2016 derailed the High Flyer's career and put him out of action for roughly 4 months. Once he returned, Neville turned heel and joined the Cruiserweight division. Not long after this, the Englishman would win the Cruiserweight Championship at the 2017 Royal Rumble. Neville ended up becoming a 2-time champion and held the title for a combined 231 days, the second longest reign in the belt's history. In October of 2017, Neville abruptly walked out of WWE after having creative disputes, in addition to a number of other issues he had with the company. Even though he wouldn't be seen on TV for nearly a year, Neville wasn't officially released from WWE till August 2018. Once he was gone, the Cruiserweight changed his in-ring name to PAC and began performing on the independent circuit. Then, in 2019, Neville signed with All Elite Wrestling, where he still is today. Currently, he's been absent from the company since March of 2020 due to travel restrictions caused by the coronavirus pandemic.
Who wants to walk with Elias?
2018, Elias. After another 3-year hiatus, the Breakout Star of the Year award was brought back via WWE's year-end awards. This time, the title was awarded to Elias, who debuted on the main roster in April of 2017. While he wasn't part of any big storylines or championship matches, Elias did connect with the audience and had built up a passionate following. Shortly after winning the award, Elias would become a heel again and was placed in segments involving various legends that often saw Elias getting beaten up. He was drafted to SmackDown during the 2019 Superstar Shakeup, where he aided Shane McMahon during Shane's rivalry with Roman Reigns. From there, Elias would become a staple of the 24/7 championship scene and has so far won the title 4 times. In May of 2020, Elias entered a tournament for the vacant Intercontinental Championship, but was pulled out due to an injury. Elias is currently out of action with a torn pectoral muscle that'll take roughly 6 to 9 months to heal.
And we want the smoke!
2019, The Street Profits. Debuting in 2017, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford began their career in NXT. They spent a little over 2 years there until appearing on Raw in July of 2019. The Street Profits officially made the jump to the main roster in October when they were drafted to the flagship show. A few months later, both Dawkins and Ford would receive the Breakout Star of the Year award. Around that same time, the two began pursuing the Raw Tag Team Championship. After multiple failed attempts, the Street Profits finally won the titles in March of 2020. Dawkins and Ford would defend the belts against the likes of Rollins and Murphy, Angel Garza and Austin Theory, and the Viking Raiders. As of right now, the two are still the Raw Tag Team Champions and have held the titles for over 200 days. Now that you know what happened, tell me in the comments which Breakout Star of the Year you think has been the most successful. Once you do that, hit the annotation to watch another video. With that, I'm Zach from Tap Out Corner. and take it easy.